The attack was scheduled 2 weeks after Luffy arrived, so that Luffy can heal and then train his haki along with Zoro and Sanji. Law is also preparing the strategy. 2 weeks later, preparations were made and their alliance were on the move. Samurais, minks, ninjas, they went to Kaido's territory. They saw Captain Kidd, Hawkins, and Appo along with each of their crew displayed in big cages. Jack, one of the Calamity and Kaido's right hand with a bounty of 1 billion, suddenly appeared and attacked the Straw Hats. Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei stepped in and had their hands full dealing with Jack, while Law and Luffy went straight to get Kaido. The other 2 Calamities showed up. The 2 Dukes of Zo, Nekomamushi and Inuarashi, and the 3 legendary warriors of Wano dealt with the other 2 Calamities. While the Straw Hat crew, Trafalgar's crew, the Mink, the Samurais, the ninjas engaged in battle on the rest of Kaido's army. Law and Luffy were finally able to get in touch with Kaido, who was sleeping while the battle happened. Luffy immediately used Gear 4th and smacked his face. Kaido was grazed and woke up. The battle began against Kaido, a Yonko with a 5.2 billion bounty. Law and Luffy were completely outpowered. Usopp released Kid, Appo, and Hawkins along with their crew and were able to join the battle. The 3 captains, Kid, Appo, Hawkins, went for Kaido's head and helped Luffy beat Kaido. It was a 5 versus 1. Luffy, Law, Kid, Appo, Hawkins vs Kaido, King of Beast. They were all still no match, but they gave Kaido a hard time with their strategy. Meanwhile, Sanji was knocked unconscious and had his leg broken, but he dealt a big damage against Jack. Jinbei was also a big help, but he took Jack's strongest blow to protect Sanji, who was already unconscious. Jinbei was completely defeated. Now what's left was Zoro versus Jack, battle of the right-hand men. Both of them were badly injured, but Jack still has the upper hand. Zoro was able to open his left eye, which was preserved and only used as a trump card. It was a strong sense of observation haki, so that's why his agility and focus increased greatly, not minding his surroundings. Big destruction and slashes were over the place, affecting everyone. Zoro finally defeated Jack with his last final blow, his greatest attack, Azura Tensei. The battle with the other 2 Calamities were still ongoing. The Dukes and legendary Samurais were able to match the Calamities, but at the end the Calamities beat them all. The Calamities were severely injured. One Calamity, Jin with a bounty of 900 million, was finally finished when Usopp, Brook, and Robin stepped in. While the other Calamity, Doom with a bounty of 800 million, was also finished by General Frankie and Monster Chopper combo. The Luffy and Law alliance is winning the war with the help of the 3 supernovas and their crew that was captured by Kaido. The battle was ongoing for 3 days. Kaido's crew was defeated, but the Straw Hats took great damage also, with Sanji and Jinbei unconscious and on the brink of death along with the Dukes. Now what's left was Kaido. The Straw Hats and the others were resting at the battlefield. All of them were injured and couldn't even walk properly. Zoro wanted to help, but his body won't move because of a great fatigue caused by opening his left eye. All they could do was trust in their captains. Appo and Hawkins were severely injured after getting a direct hit from Kaido. Kid, Law and Luffy started to injure Kaido. Kaido started fighting seriously. Destruction were all over. Kid, at that moment, was able to use his awakening and dealt a very big amount of damage to Kaido. Kid used all his energy and fought as hard as he could, but Kaido unleashed a great shockwave, destroying half of the Kingdom Island, and the sea was separated. Appo was the first person to be defeated in that fight, and then followed by Hawkins. Law was able to hold off Kaido, but Kaido took care of Law in a split second using Kaido's full power. Kid was still able to damage Kaido and put up a good fight, but Kaido broke his legs and Kid was unable to fight. Kaido had taken the greatest damage and was starting to fall, but he remained tough and strong. Luffy, who was also severely injured, started screaming all over the place and used his greatest technique, which is only used for Yonkos, the strongest technique Rayleigh taught Luffy. Gear 5th, everything in its path was destroyed. Kaido was unable to keep up with Luffy because he is injured and can't dodge attacks anymore. Luffy was able to do the finishing blow, his Gatling cannon. Every time Luffy uses Gear 5th, his body gets crushed because of the pressure. So for every attack he does, there's a recoil damage to himself, breaking each of his bones. Luffy was able to maintain in that form for 45 seconds. Kaido was unable to stand after that, but 45 seconds was still short to completely defeat an injured Kaido. Even after the finishing blow, Kaido still remains conscious. Luffy wasn't able to stand up, he lost his Gear 5th and tried his normal pistol punch before he passed out. Kaido also used his final attack. They exchanged blow. Kaido was unconscious and was completely defeated. Luffy also stopped moving after the great damage his body could ever taken. Everyone was happy. And marine ship observers witnessed the fight and reported it to the whole world. While everyone was rejoicing, they noticed Law was shouting and crying. Luffy wasn't unconscious, but he was dead, his pulse has already ended for almost 5 minutes. Willpower was the only thing that made Luffy fight back at the end, even his body already gave up the fight. He was able to bring a miracle on that impossible fight. Everyone was emotional. Zoro was in shock that he spaced out of what happened to Air Captain. Law remembered that he has the ability to give immortality to a person, but he also heard rumors that it could bring someone back to life in exchange for his fruit and the host's own life. The Marines arrived and tried to capture the pirates who were injured. Law has 24 hours to revive a dead body and can't afford to battle against the Marines again. Law then carried Luffy and turned Luffy and himself into the Marines, in exchange to let the others go. Everyone was shocked and angry. Law shouted and said he will save Luffy no matter what, just trust in him. It was a good deal for the Navy to capture both Law and Luffy. The captain of the Marine fleet respected Law's decision and took Law and Luffy. Law explained to the Navy to let him operate Luffy. It was too much for a consideration. Law begged and bowed his head, crying. The captain of the Marine fleet had a past and was saved by Garp when he was little. He always respected Garp. So he wants to return the favor by letting his grandson live just for a while, because even if Luffy survives he will be executed in Marine Ford. He will take the blame for letting Luffy live. Law performed the operation and was a success. Luffy was breathing again but unconscious. Law then suddenly collapsed and was declared dead. The Navy was shocked of what just happened and made a big news about Law's death for Luffy's life. Luffy was then locked to impel down and was scheduled his execution. Luffy was grieving after hearing the sacrifice of Law. The news for the execution was spread all over the world. Shanks was shocked that he beat Kaido, but he was also shocked that Luffy died and then resurrected and is gonna be executed. But Shanks decided that Luffy needs to overcome this trial and he will not help the war. The Straw Hats got the news that Luffy was alive and gonna be executed. They were relieved but sad at the same time because of the loss of Law. Everyone all over the world reacted to the news and a war again was about to happen. At the date of the execution, the Straw Hats made their first entrance at the front line of Marine Ford, followed by the Straw Hat 5600 Grand Fleet. Zoro led the opening impression by shouting loudly directly to Luffy, who was in the platform execution. Zoro said sorry and bowed his head, crying. He swore that he would save Luffy at the cost of his life. He knelt down and swore his loyalty as his right hand not to let those horrible events happen again. Pointing his sword to the Navy, he said he will kill himself if he fails. Everyone was shocked of how the vice-captain swallowed his pride for his captain. The Straw Hats were crying and each made a vow. Bartolomeo also slammed his head on their ship and swore to be loyal to the Straw Hats forever, and then followed by everyone. More ships came which no one expected, even the Straw Hats. The whole army of Alabasta came, the army of King Rika from Dressrosa, the army of Fishman Island led by the Three Prince, the former Whitebeard pirates who wants to protect Ace's brother, the former prisoners of Impel Down who were with Luffy, Boa Hancock, who just resigned from being a warlord and joined to help fight the Navy, with the Kuja pirates and Amazon Lily warriors, the Mink tribe led by the Dukes, the Wano Kingdom, and Trafalgar Law's crew who were crying about the loss of their captain. But they still want to protect what their captain protected. A huge island ship showed up at the side. It was the Revolutionary Army. Monkey D. Dragon showed up, the most wanted man in the world. Everyone was shaking in fear the same way they did to Whitebeard. He said he has no business with Luffy. He will step in the war if the pirate crew he hates the most joins the war. He was referring to Blackbeard. But he will allow Ivankov's and Sabo's division to join the war since they are Luffy's friends. Finally, at the opposite side of Dragon, the Blackbeard pirates showed up and said he has no plan on fighting the Revolutionary, he just wants to see how the war will end. The Revolutionary and the Blackbeard pirates were just observers on the war. A small ship arrived. It was Rayleigh, saying good job on defeating Kaido and he will help because his crew is outpowered. Luffy cried in tears and said he will never die, he will become Pirate King. Garp's face was kinda worried of how it will turn out. He decided if Navy will be successful in defeating the pirates, he will have no choice but to step in and fight the entire Navy to save Luffy. He could not make the same mistake again. Navy was so shocked that many big-time pirates and people showed up just for Luffy. No matter how people look at it, the people trying to save Luffy has the upper hand advantage. Looking at the people, it has more reinforcement than Whitebeard's reinforcement during Ace's execution. The Navy was worried on how to deal the war. Akainu shouted the Navy will win. A big ship came behind the Navy and it was the World Government Army along with the strongest officers. They have the 5 heavenly bodies, which were the 5 old legendary men along with the agents Cypherfall. Dragon was shocked and said if the world government joins, so will he. The revolutionaries' goal is to take down the world government in the first place. People started calling it the war of the best. Zoro started the war by giving a straight slash in which was blocked by Mihawk. And the war began.